Hey, welcome to the studio. I'm Chef Gordon Rader, the Indian Hills Community College Culinary Arts program. Today we're going to go back and look at something basic. I get a lot of emails and they say, Chef, you know, the Vietnamese food's fun, but I don't think I'm going to cook it. You've been doing some French techniques, so let's do something basic. So today it's something basic. And the method of the madness behind this as well is that there's certain times of the year that you accumulate a lot of dried spices, right? And we're going to do a chili con carne. And as opposed to ground beef, we're going to use some stew meat. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the ingredients that we have. So we're going to start with the beef this time. And instead of ground beef, I like a little character to my chili. Makes great burritos too. The chuck eye. And if you go to the farmer's market, or if you go to Hy-Vee, or if you go to Fairway, you can look for a chuck eye Delmonico or a chuck eye boneless rib. And the chuck's a really flavorful piece of meat. And what I've done is just bought the whole chuck myself and break it down, and I've cut little ribs out of one of the sections of the muscle. And again, we're going to go ahead and cut that into smaller pieces. And what I've done ahead of time is I've sauteed and caramelized this meat, and I've cooked it through with some beef stock, and so it's ready to go. But I wanted you to see boneless spare ribs, or boneless ribs, beef ribs, very important piece. And if it's from the chuck, it's much better. Some of the other ingredients we're going to use, and again, I talked about, you know, you accumulate a lot of dry spices, and I know you have them, everybody does. That parsley's been in there since 1986. So diced onion, just a little bit. I've got sea salt or kosher salt. Iodized salt is fine. Morton's table salt. Chili powder, your choice. It's the one that was from 1976 that you know you got to use. Maybe you should throw that out, actually. But no, there's dark chili powder, there's light chili powder, there's habanero chili powder. Your choice, and it gives you, you know, obviously you want to go out and buy some new things, and maybe you see Bobby Flay's Southwest chili powder, and it's a blend of different things. Pick that up. It might be really good. Paprika, it can be sweet, it can be hot. There's a lot of different paprikas. Hungarian paprika, Spanish paprika. I prefer Spanish paprika. Cumin or comino, that's another Hispanic spice that, I don't know, it smells like feet to me, but it really makes a great, and that's a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Mexican oregano. It's got to be Mexican oregano. You can use Greek if you have to, but that really makes a difference. Then I went ahead, you've got that garlic powder sitting in your shelf. Use that up. You can use fresh if you'd like, but like I said, I'm trying to get rid of all my spices so I can get some fresh ones for the year. Bay leaves, a couple. And then black pepper. If you want white pepper as well, you can use that. And of course, cayenne. You can go ahead and use that as well, ground. I've omitted that because Cecil, our director, doesn't like things too spicy. I think we're going to have some bacon addition to that as well. And then two ingredients that you probably won't think about when you do chili, but I use cocoa powder, unsweetened Dutch processed cocoa. It adds almost like a mole intensity. Mole is a Mexican preparation, which I don't think we've talked about, but we will in a future video. But trust me, this is really adds some depth and some earthiness to the chili. You're going to love it. And then to thicken it up, instead of flour or extra tomato product, I've got masa harina, or maseca actually, which is a ground and a dried corn flour that Hispanics used to make corn tortillas. So it's nixtamal, basically, ground corn. And this adds a really neat depth and texture and flavor to the chili as well. And then I've got tomato puree. A lot of people use tomato sauce. This is slightly sweeter, and it has some texture to it, so it's going to give the chili some more body. And then you can use water or beef stock, or actually Campbell's beef broth that you buy in a can. So these are the basic ingredients for it. I have Tabasco too, and that's a really important piece because that's one of my favorite table condiments. I add it to the chili as we cook. And then we're going to put it on the table with some cheese and rice, cheese and noodles, cheese and tortillas, cheese and a bun. So we'll start the cooking process now. Okay, so again, obviously we have 7 minutes. I think Cecil gets mad at 8. So I went ahead, and this is a long process. Now you could do this in the crock pot if you wanted to. You could throw everything in the crock pot in the morning, turn it on low, and it's ready when you get home. But I really think you got to brown the meat first. And again, chuck, the caramelization, we've talked about it in other videos. You've got to cook it and get that caramelization so you get that intensity of flavor. That makes a big difference in how things taste. So basically, after that, then I put in some stock, Campbell's beef broth or water, or chicken stock, or low sodium, or water. Like I said, that's fine. But the beef base, the beef stock is going to add more depth of flavor, and you don't have to use as much salt when you cook. So that cooks 4 hours, because this is obviously really tough meat. You got to cook it 4 hours. 2 will do it, but I like it 4 because I want it to fall apart. You know, I'm getting older and my teeth aren't what they used to be, right? So, and that was another joke. I thought that was funny. So you can hear the sizzle, right? And what I like to do is add my spices to this. And we went through the list of spices. I'm going to start with a little salt. And what that's going to do is create a little moisture. It's going to pull the moisture to the top of the meat. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and toast my bay leaves. I have 2 of those. Okay? And we always talk about layering flavors and toasting spices, because each element that you add heat to in layers is going to create a more profound flavor. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. Okay, and you can add as much onion as you like. Onion and fresh garlic. Add your garlic last. I've got powdered garlic. Again, we're trying to use up all our leftover spices. And so then all of a sudden you start to get the smell of the onion and the bay leaf, and it starts to permeate the kitchen, and you know, the family starts thinking, wow, what's going on? You didn't buy McDonald's tonight. Something's different. Okay? Nothing against McDonald's, right? Well, just sweat the onions a little bit, okay? Sweat the onions a little bit. You want to leave a little character to them. Chili powder. And, well, Chef, where's the recipe? Why don't you just play like for once that you're going to have a relationship with what it is that you're doing, and let's go through and taste as you cook. And as you taste, you'll start to develop an idea of what each flavor has, and do I need to add more chili powder? Do I need to add more cumin? And you really get to know a dish that way, and you develop your own stylization when you cook, and I think that's an important piece of the puzzle, and that's what makes, you know, a great chef, a great home cook, is the experimentation that goes through this, as opposed to constantly going back and relying on somebody else's recipe. I mean, some recipes are great for, you know, a basic starter, but you need to be bold and experiment. So the cumin goes in now. And again, you know, the smell is fantastic. You know, leave a window open if it's not wintertime. You know, maybe you got people come over. Maybe you don't want that, I don't know. Your mother-in-law's coming back. Little pepper, little oregano. Don't go too fast on and too heavy on the oregano. Real light. A little bit of garlic or ajo. And I think about it sometimes, maybe we should do this bilingual, you know, TV. We can do this in Spanish too. I really enjoy my Spanish friends, Mexican friends, Hispanic friends. Paprika. And again, toasting, your layering flavors. Okay. And now, the weird stuff, the cocoa powder. Chef, I don't know, that sounds satanic to me. It's not going to work. Believe me, it's going to work. It's great. Don't put, like, Nestle's Quick. That's not going to work. The sugar's not going to work. It adds color. It adds depth. It adds an earthiness. Okay? And so now our tomato puree. And you can use tomato sauce if that's what you have. I mean, some of us are used to that and enjoy it, but okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn down the heat a little bit. And I think probably what I'm going to do is step over and get some water, because I want to thin it down a little bit, so you'll be all right while I'm gone. Just, you know, pick up your cookbook. And again, beef stock, Campbell's beef base. I think that's a nice part. Try not to get it on you, you know. That's an important thing. You can dress me up, but you can't take me out. It's funny. So that has a really deep flavor to it, a really deep smell. I think it's going to be fantastic. And now, what I would do is turn this down low, put a lid on it, let it cook for half an hour at the very least, and then come back, and you're going to add your maseca. I'm going to add maseca to it. It's M-A-S-E-C-A. You can find it at Hy-Vee. You can find it at Walmart. Find it at Fairway. Because later on we'll make corn tortillas. I'll show you how to use it for corn tortillas, but this is great actually for thickening and adding some depth to your chili. and it's going to be fantastic. And so we're going to let this cook. And through the magic of TV, when we come back, actually we're going to plate this and let you take a look at it. As Emerald says, there's no smell-o-vision, but I wish you could smell it. It's just incredible. It's a very deathful smell. So we'll be right back. So it's off the stove now. It's cooked for, I don't know, 45 minutes, right? So look at the color on this. This is really nice. This started out, about 1.25 pounds. Of course, you get some shrinkage there. But this is good, just like this on a tortilla. And maybe we'll have to make tortillas someday real soon. On a potato pancake, it's really good. On some white Wonder Bread, it's good. Let me go ahead and put it in a bowl, because I could make a burrito out of this. Now, if you wanted to add beans to it, I mean, by all means. You know, and you've got canned beans in your cabinet at home. Black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, you know. Any of those things would work. So that's kind of a big bowl. Maybe I'll eat all that, or maybe I won't, I don't know. But come on, how about rice or noodles, or just like this, put some cheese, chopped onions. If you want the Tabasco, you can put that on top of it. But this is a great, hearty, simple casserole. Wow, think about this. So you get some canned tamales, or you pick up the tamales that your Hispanic neighborhood has at the grocers. They're selling them on Saturday afternoon. Take them out of the husk, lay them in a baking pan, pour this chili over it, slap the cheese on it, chopped onions, put it in the oven for 45 minutes, 350. That'd be really nice. Just some suggestions. But anyway, this is a great dish, simple, classic, home style, something that you can do with the family, keep them at home at night, watch a little TV. Dancing with the Stars is coming on soon. We wouldn't want to miss that. So, thanks for stopping by. It was fun. Do it again.